Here's a trivia. What does Tata, Kellogg's, Coke, Puma, and Google have in common? Well, the answer is a failed product due to miscalculating their customers' desire to use their product. Hi, I'm Sumitra Sarkar, business coach, marketing consultant, and co-founder of Semyon Consulting. In today's video, we will briefly understand why it is important to truly know your customer. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. When you plan your product, you need to ask yourself two very important questions. Does your customer need your product? And does your customer want your product? Most businesses often miss out on finding answers to the second question. Now, before I jump to explaining this further, let me tell you why it is important. In any business transaction, there are two prospects, the product and the customer. But the successful brands always look at a third angle, which is the culture. Culture is what defines human behavior, defines how people think and feel. Culture is never the same in two different places and might differ from market to market. And $1 million fact is that culture does not change overnight. Now, a good example here is Kellogg's. A success in the West, Kellogg's entered India in 1994, very soon after India opened doors to foreign businesses. Today, Kellogg's is a whopping success. But back then, while Indians were excited to try Kellogg's, it failed to take off. Why? Because the Indian food palate needed warm and savory breakfast. That's what they were used to, and not something which was cold and bland. Remember, this was a time when American breakfast was not common knowledge. It took the country more than a decade and a lot of exposure to global cuisine and health consciousness to add Kellogg's to the regular breakfast spread. Culture is driven by mind and subconscious actions, which market research reports may not always cover. So, coming back to the point of our need and want, need is the need gap that one finds in the market. It could be price, quality, speed, design, or a mixture of all of these. Need is not an innovation. Innovation is done to fulfill a need gap. Now, want, on the other hand, is if your customer is really seeking your product, or are there any barriers that you need to break before your product or service is wholly accepted? Let me share two examples here. Year 2008, Tata Nano. So Ratan Tata gave the quintessential Indian a truly innovative solution to private transport for the entire family. Most lower middle class and middle class households relied on two-wheelers to go about their day. Buying an entry-level car meant a minimum expense of 4 to 5 lakhs. Nano was announced as the 1 lakh car and finally was available at a little less than 2 lakhs on road. That would have been a blessing, right? But Nano still didn't take off. Why? Because while this solved for the transportation problem, for Indians, car is not just a means to transport. Car is a status symbol, and nobody wanted to own the cheapest Indian car. So was it a bad idea to launch Nano? Not really. The positioning of Nano should have been aspirational and desirable rather than being price-led. Now, one brand which beautifully managed this and succeeded was Indigo Airlines. In an era when the Indian skies were ruled by Jet Airways and Air India, flying was considered fancy and uneconomical for many. Indigo found that there is an active need for low-cost airlines. While there were other low-cost brands in the race, Indigo turned around their competitive pricing strategy into a consumer benefit by positioning themselves as an airline for the professional, frequent flyers who wanted to reach from point A to point B and did not really care about the pampering that full service airlines provided. To look at some other examples, Puma solar phones and Google Glass are cases where the market was not ready to accept this product innovation. And the new Coke was an outright rejection because the Coke drinkers did not want a flavor change. To truly understand the cultural aspects influencing our customers' mind, we need to do in-depth research on their attitude towards your product and similar categories. Questions that you need to ask are, what does the category or product mean to them? How do they feel about it? If there is an active need gap, what is your customer currently doing to overcome this? Observe how they react to your product or concept. Try exposing them to your product in different ways and see where they are drawn the most. And do this with 3 to 4 customer types to really understand if everyone reacts the same way or are there differences. Behaviors can change basis location, age, gender, education, income, profession, travel, mindset, etc. For our clients, we always first understand the product or service category to identify which parameters are relevant. Accordingly, we then shortlist the right potential customer groups and understand how they currently fulfill their needs. These actually help us create the positioning concept, the identity, and the questions to be asked and the intended outcomes to be tested. To understand what brand positioning is, look out for my next video. The biggest mistake businesses make is to just think about their product and feel that if their product is great, the customer will definitely buy it. Don't be that person. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you and have a great day.